What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and this video, I want to talk about 4 reasons to be excited for Split Fiction. This is the game that comes out very, very soon, March 6th, I believe, and I wanted to throw this video together, get myself more excited, get you guys excited. So let's just start at number 1 being past history, what these people have made before. Now, look, I mean, it's not always important, and sometimes, you make a couple of good games, and you make a really, really bad one. It's not the be-all, end-all. You should probably base a game or judge a game based off of itself, not necessarily what came before, but there is a lot of good history, right, with Hazelight and Josef Fares' team, right? So you got A Way Out, a personal favorite of mine, a little Uncharted-like, I think, at times, but also, it's a game that told, I think, a really great story between two great characters, and I love that game to death. I still love it today. And then you have It Takes Two, which is also an incredible game. It goes back and forth in my head which one I like more. It Takes Two definitely got more accolades. I think a lot more people talked about it. It sold unbelievably well. I think they've said before, like, it reached like 25 million players, and that's absolutely insane for a game like that. So they've made some really great games. They've had some great stories, some great characters, some great gameplay kind of concepts, and I think that last part, the gameplay, really shined through more than anything with It Takes Two. Just so many diverse locations, diverse kind of gameplay mechanics, and Split Fiction seems to be building on a lot of that we'll talk about as the rest of the video goes. Number 2, I want to talk about how accessible the game is, and I literally mean how accessible it is to play. There could be like deeper accessibility options like in the base game and stuff, but I'm simply just talking, you want the game, how do you get the game? This game is doing something a little bit new while also building off of that Friends Pass that they've done in the past. So basically, you buy it once, you can play it with anyone, anywhere, and that's the big difference between this game and any of their past games. If you have it on PC, you can play it with PlayStation. You have it on PlayStation, you can play with Xbox, mix and match to your heart's content. Also, you can do it more than once, and that's a new thing that they've added here too. So for me personally, I'm playing it with my wife. I'm super excited. We've done it for all 3 of these games now. Once I'm done playing with her, I can gift it again to somebody else. I could say, hey, random person on the internet, you want to play? And we can play it. When that's done, I can do it again. You can play this game literally an unlimited amount of times with whoever you want. So you're basically gifting the game over and over and over. So you only really need to know one person that's willing to play with you. You need one person that's gotten this game. They can play with however many people that they want, and eventually when they get to you, they'll be able to play with you. I think that's super cool, and in terms of free and just how easy it is, honestly, to get a game, it honestly doesn't get much better than that. Number 3, let's talk about this gameplay. Okay, so I mentioned kind of building off of what It Takes Two has done. You look at any of the gameplay, you look at any of the clips, you look at any of the previews so far of this game, and at least the main thing that stands out to me so far is that diversity. Now, obviously, this game is already kind of differentiating itself. Like within the game, you're going to have sci-fi and you're going to have like medieval, right? And you look at the 2 sisters and you say, okay, well, this is how it's going to work. They're writers, right? So they kind of have different creative minds. One of them is more into one thing versus the other that's into the other. And you're going to be playing these missions, bouncing back and forth, back and forth. So even just like the setting, how these things are going to look, these missions, right? I mentioned It Takes Two, and you can see it in any of the trailers for Split Fiction. It really just feels like every one of these levels is going to be something different, whether it's a side scroller versus like a third person kind of shooter or whatever you can imagine, right? Somebody's chasing you or you're sliding down something, platforming, puzzle solve, whatever it might be. It's a mesh of so many different genres of gameplay, okay? And I think It Takes Two is really where they introduced that. A Way Out was definitely more of just like an action-adventure type thing. Had its slower moments, but then you also had kind of the high-octane moments, very Uncharted-esque. It Takes Two just decided, hey, we're going to do like 40 different kind of gameplay styles, and we're just going to go from there, right? Same thing here. This really looks like that evolution, and everything that was good about the gameplay of It Takes Two, hopefully times like 2 or 3 for Split Fiction. And the 4th and final reason, I want to talk about the story possibilities, the kind of heart to it. And, again, I mentioned this in terms of their past, what they've been capable of doing. What I find so cool about these games, what I think gives it just a little bit extra depth, right? These games so far, and hopefully Split Fiction, They're very well rounded. And we know kind of like the baseline for the story. I just kind of mentioned it, right? You got like a virtual reality type. These characters are kind of like sucked into their stories, and there's kind of like this business, this corporation that's trying to like steal it out from under them. So you got a little bit of it. But again, what I think has given all of these games depth, and A Way Out was really kind of carried by it, is that story and characters. It Takes Two is about this couple that's looking to divorce, and they end up kind of finding each other and find their way back to each other. So they've always been capable, this team, of telling some honestly very heartfelt and very good stories on top of then that gameplay that's just kind of gotten better and better as each one goes. So this one's a little bit more, all of them are kind of about belief. I guess technically some of these are just like stone cold facts, but something like this is more about the potential, right? They've been very capable of telling that and having that very diverse gameplay before. And then they've also had the very well-rounded, like really good story. It's not like a half-done story. It's not mediocre. And then it's got really good gameplay that's kind of holding it up. It's actually very well balanced that they've been able to do. So that's honestly more than anything what I'm kind of looking for Split Fiction. Be just a really fun game for me and my wife to play, but then also just be like a game of the year type contender. Have a great story, have great characters, and I have a lot of faith in them. I have a lot of confidence that that's going to happen. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.